Hallojis, my name is Ravi Ray, and in this video, I'm going to tell you why the low end of your mix isn't working and show you 2 ways on how to fix it. Okay, let's start with a little bit of background. All sounds inherently contain a range of frequencies which are measured in hertz. Take a kick drum, for example. The fundamental or the lowest core tone of a kick drum is around 60 hertz, whereas the slap of the beater might live somewhere around 3 kilohertz. Your mix operates the same way. Your job when mixing a track is to have clarity in all parts of the frequency spectrum. If there's too much frequency content in one region, you get something called masking, aka whenever sounds are competing to take up space and overall the result is an unclear mix. Making sure that you get your low end right is super important because having too much content here can eat up the rest of your mix. So that being said, let's talk about the first way to clean up your low end. Number 1, use sidechain compression. First off, a compressor is a tool that alters the volume of a sound. Generally speaking, all you have to designate with a compressor is the sound that you want to compress, but with sidechain compression, you're using another sound to trigger the compressor. Think about that for a second. You're using another sound to trigger that compressor. So long story short, we're going to use our kick drum as the key signal, aka what triggers the compressor. And we're gonna put the compressor on the bass elements of our mix. Bass as in like low frequency sounds. What this is doing is quickly ducking the volume of your bass elements when the kick drum hits so that we can hear the kick clearly. So in this mix, I've got an 808 bass and a kick drum. Let's listen to it real quick. First, I need to set up a pre-fader send going from my kick drum to a bus that I'm calling kick key. Next, I'll grab a compressor and I'll put it on my bass. Here, I'm using the FabFilter Pro C2. At the top of the plugin in Pro Tools by this little key icon, I can select our kick drum kick key as the key signal. Then I need to make sure I come down to the sidechain menu and turn on EXT for external key. For the settings themselves, I usually adjust the threshold and the ratio to target about 4 to 6 dB of gain reduction. What you'll typically want is a super fast attack and a pretty fast release as well, but overall it just depends on the mix and you should adjust these to taste. So now that we've made these changes, let's watch the compressor in action. Number 2, use high-pass filters on all non-bass elements in your mix. A high-pass filter is a tool that you'll find inside of your EQ plugin. Here, you're gonna remove the low frequencies and sounds where you don't necessarily need them. So here in this track, let's hop into our guitar submix and grab a high-pass filter. I'll cut out all the bass and the woof in this acoustic guitar. Remember, when you throw your mix engineer hat on, your goal isn't to make sure that every single individual element sounds good by itself, but rather that every single element works well together. So if that means when I solo this acoustic guitar, it doesn't sound like an acoustic guitar, that's okay. Your song is gonna be listened to as one single unit, not individual instruments and solo. And finally, here is the mix before and after we've cleaned up the low end. If you learned something from this video, consider dropping a like or hitting the sub button. And until the next one, stay well and shine bright.